Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? Am I audible to all of you? Yeah, we'll start it. Let's see if the others might join. Let's continue. So, are you good with yesterday's session? All of you are clear and any doubts or anything with that? If you have anything, please let me know. We'll discuss that in the end of the session today. Okay, so what do we do is this continue. Okay, so we are good now. Let's start. And then let's open our material. So yesterday we were talking about loops. In that we are talking about for loop. We had discussed till what is while, what is for, all that. We had discussed all our fundamentals. Today, what we do is we will discuss about one more very useful topic. That is so let's talk about string topic today. String is the very important concept in Python. We use strings a lot in Python. So what we do is we'll talk about strings. So let me just start discussing about strings in Python. They're all regular expressions. We don't need this. So generally, right? Strings means what and why do we need strings? 1 minute, I'm opening it. Hmm. Yeah. So here we have this string topic. Okay. So, hey, ఎందుకు sorry. Sorry, friends. I think I'm getting some noise from outside. Okay, this is the topic where we should start, friends. Let's start from here, the string topic. So here, this is where we have string is strings and character data in Python. What is a string here? So generally, when we talk about a string is a sequence of characters. Okay, so right? Already we are familiar with string thing, and we had just have some introduction to string. So usually anything declared in single quotes, double quotes, and triple quotes is a string in Python. And all of us know this. The data type used to declare a string is str. Str is the data type used to declare a string. For example, you take a string Manohar here, right? So s equal to something like this. We can declare a string Manohar like in single quotes or double quotes or in triple quotes. So this is a quick idea about string thing, right? Till this, all of us are good. So we are all good till this point. So then what else? So from whatever we are discussing now is something new for everyone. Suppose when we talk about string in Python, every string is internally has an indexing. So when we talk about string or list or anything, the concept of indexing exists for strings. So every string internally has an indexing and it has both negative and positive indexing or forward and backward indexing. So it have indexing both positive and negative indexing. So if you see an example, you take a string with A3 here. Okay, so excuse me, friends. So you see here, when I take a string with A3 here, you can see the indexing for this string. The above indexing, if you observe this, it starts from 0, ends with n minus 1. If size of string is n, then it ends with n minus 1. And you can see there is a negative indexing. It starts with minus n, ends with minus 1. So here we have both positive and negative indexing. And we can extract string, slices of string, either positive with the index with positive index or with negative index, or with combination of both positive and negative. You can combine negative and positive and try to extract a string, slices of a string. I'm repeating this again. So what is this here? We know string is something which is in single quotes, double quotes, and triple quotes. And generally, the data type used to declare string in Python is str. And most of us know that, right? And for example, and another important thing in Python, a string has indexing which has a positive and negative indexing. Okay, positive indexing is something like this. What is this? It starts with 0. Always it starts with 0, ends with the size minus 1 or n minus 1. And in negative indexing, minus n to minus 1. For example, you take another example. We have an example of NOMTech. Okay. Now, what would be the indexing of NOMTech? If it is positive, it will be like this. So I'm giving some space to give more clear index. So what is it? It starts with 0 and then 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then 4 and then 5 and then 6 and then 7. So starts with 0, ends with size minus 1. In NOMTech, we have 8 characters. And the index starts with 0, ends with the size minus 1 or n minus 1. Now negative index minus 8. If size is n, it starts with minus n, minus 7, minus 6, minus 5, minus 4, minus 3, minus 2, minus 1. So this is negative index. So this is the indexing what string has in Python. So every string internally has indexing in Python. Maybe if you ask me why do we need indexing, what is the advantage? So what's your answer, friends? Why do we need indexing? How it helps us? How indexing is going to help us? Any idea? How indexing helps us? If you see here, the indexing helps us to extract your values. Usually, these are all array kind of data structures. Internally, these are array type of data structures. And if you talk about this string or this list or this tuple or anything, if you want to break down this string into slices and extract it, or if you want to get characters from a string, then this indexing is going to help us a lot, right? So this is a quick idea why indexing is needed. The indexing helps us to extract your data from that particular value or that data structure. Is this clear to everyone? This is a quick idea about the purpose of indexing. So now another question is, once you have indexing like this, okay, excuse me, how do you extract it? So we can access this string. We can access this string using this index operator, this one. So what is this index operator? Suppose if I want to extract something from 0th index, I say s of 0. From first index, s of 1. From second index, s of 2. From third index, s of 3, something like this. S of 7 means get something from 7th index. Similarly, you can apply negative index as well. Okay, this is a quick idea how to extract elements from a string. Right? For example, I'm using a command prompt quickly to show you how it works. So opening Python. Okay, just take a string. Our string is nom-tech here. You can take anything of your choice. Now, when we print it, we get this string like this. Now, suppose if you want to know the type of this string, type of S means what do you get here? You get str. Now after this, I want to see I want to extract each character from the string. One option is iterating a for loop. Yesterday we have seen. Otherwise, using index s of 0, you see here. We get n, s of 1, a, s of 2, o, s of 3, m, s of 4, like this. You can extract each and every value through index like this. Suppose we have negative indexes, right? S of -8, what do you get here? N. S of -1, H. Similarly, S of some -3, E. So like this, we can extract values using either what shall we say, a positive index or a negative index, or a combination of both. You got this, friends? Is this clear for all of you? So this is a quick idea about what is this, what is string, and how a string is represented internally in memory. So we have seen a positive indexing and negative indexing. And then what else we see? We have seen how to extract each character from a string through index. So this is a quick idea, friends. Right. So understood now. Now let's see the next scenario. Iterating a string. Already we have seen this, how to iterate a string, but still what we do is we can see it quickly in today's session as well. Suppose if you want to iterate a string, either we can do that in PyCharm or in the command prompt itself. Suppose you have a string nom-tech and you want to iterate it through a for loop for some ch in s colon. So you can say print of ch. What happens now? It prints character by character. Okay.
Sir, hello.
Yes, please.
Yeah, sir, it's the screen is not sharing, sir. Actually.
Is this problem for everyone? Can you see my screen or not?
Yes, your screen is visible.
Oh, I will re-log in 1 second. 1 second. Give me.
Yeah, seems like there is some issue, network issue from your side,
Yeah,
Shankar,
yeah.
whoever it is. Sorry.
Okay, I will re-log in. Give me. Thank
Yes, yes, please. So now if you see here, so what's happening here? We are iterating a string like this by using a for loop. So what we are doing here for that character in that data structure, and then we are printing it. We had discussed this in the yesterday's session, how this works. Each time this for loop iterates, okay, one value from this string is copied to ch, and when we print it, that is displayed here in the console. So this is one way of printing. Another way of printing your string. One is extracting each character through index. Second one is iterating through this loop, for loop. Okay, this is a quick idea. Next one, slicing. What is slicing here? Slicing is extracting part of a string. And this is very important when you are working in real scenarios. When you are working in projects, slicing is the most quite frequent operation you perform when you work in a project. Because we do a lot of this thing in Python. And when you are doing that, slicing is the most used operation. So understand it clearly, friends. So what happens here? How do you apply slicing here? Slicing means extracting part of a string. You don't need to extract whole string. Part, either beginning or at the end, first name, last name, or middle name, something like that. If you want to break your string into slices, then slicing is required. How do you do slicing? For that, we have slice operator in Python. To break down, to split your string into parts, we have a slice operator. How it works? Simply speaking, your string name, your variable name, open bracket, start index and end index. In this way, your index also helps us. Okay, our index also helps us to extract part of a string. Now, what is the syntax here? The syntax is simple, right? So it's nothing too difficult here. You have to take the name of your string and then start index and then end index. So that's how it should be. For example, let us take a small example. So leave about all this. Let me take a small example for you to get a clear idea about slicing. You have Amitabh Bachchan. Okay. Amitabh will feel bad if I Amitabh, okay, Bachchan. So here I want to extract this into two slices, Amitabh and Bachchan. Then what should I do? Assign it to some variable first, some name equal to this one. Now I want only Amitabh, the first name of Amitabh. So then how do I get Amitabh? Apply slicing, name of starting index 0, colon. How many characters are there in Amitabh? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We know there are 6 characters. Okay, then you should excuse me, got a lot of cold these days. So now you see this. We have 6 characters. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, 6 characters here. Now let's test this now. So this is we are doing a slicing here. 0 to 6. It will take 0 to 5. So here the index starts with 0. This is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then if your index ends with a 5 here, then you should pass 6 here. Why 6? Because it takes the string up to 5 and 6 is excluded. So don't worry about 6. So your slice, if it is starting with 0, ending with 5, then your here we have to pass the indexes as start index as 0 and end index as that n. Right? Let's test it now. So come here. Okay. So here, take a string here. What shall we do? Better use Eclipse better. Let's do one thing. Let me start using Eclipse. Now, what we do is I'll take a small file. You can just create a proper this thing. I'm just going random way. String slicing. Okay, take a string. Some name equal to Amitabh Bachchan. Okay, then how to apply this slicing? So then print off. You can directly print it. Print off name of the 0:6. We can understand through this. Otherwise, we can assign to some variable. Once you slice it, you do one thing. Some first name equal to assign to some variable. What happens now? If you see here, what is happening? I understand this carefully. Observe. So here, first name here, we are starting the slice with 0, ends with that m. Right? What happens now? 0 means it starts here, ends with this. 6 is not considered. It is not inclusive. It is exclusive. So it considers till that n minus 1. If you pass n as n index, it takes till n minus 1. So when you print it, let's print it. You see here, run this FIRST. So there is some typo here, first name, and then run this now. Right click and then run slice. Did you get Amitabh here? Yes, perfect. Suppose if you think that this we should pass till 5 only, then now see what happens. Right click and then it gives you only Amitabh. Right? So nothing, see, this is not something really difficult to understand. What you can do, you can play with this and make slight changes to your start and end index to extract appropriate string, proper string. I hope this is clear for all of you. This is first name. Suppose if you want to extract second name, see, first thing is you should have an idea where your string start and string end. Otherwise, the second string where it starts, you should have a clear idea. So this Amitabh is starts with 0, ends with 5. Right? And then up to 5th index, we have B, 6th index is space, and 7th index is this B starts. Right? Because as it starts with 0. So now, if you want to get Bachchan, first you should know where B starts. That is very important. Okay? Copy this and then print it. And then last name, just take last name. And then what do you do now? Here, name of some, right? B starts with B, that 7th index. And after that, if you think that this Bachchan is the last, there is no other string after Bachchan, then you can just simply say start of this Bachchan and put colon and leave the rest of that. Of course, if you want, how many characters are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So then what do? You can say 7:7, right? Or 8. 7 plus, 7 plus 8. How much do we get? So that 3, 10, 15. It takes till 15. We can check like this. Okay. Right? Because we have how many characters here? We have, it starts with 7, and then we have almost 7 characters in this. And 7 plus 7 is 14. We can end with 15. This is one thing. Or here and there, that one index you can adjust once while testing. You can check that if it is 15 or 14. You can adjust that. Not a big problem. Right click now, and then run as a so. Of course, print this last name. So right click and then run this one. You got Bachchan, perfect. But there is another way to print this. This is one way of printing last name. if that is the last word. So otherwise, if that is the ending part of your string, then once you just say that 7, and you don't need to mention the end index, because it will automatically extract string till the end of the string, if you, even if you don't mention where that end, where that string ends. Suppose you see here, excuse me, last name 2. I'm not giving anything here. Bachchan is the ending slice. So I just mentioned where that last name starts, and I just ignored to provide end index, but still no problem. Your interpreter will automatically extract or cut that slice till the end of the string, even if you don't mention the end index. Now, last name to put this. Now, what do you do? Right click and then run this. Did you get Bachchan second time as well? Here, what is not needed? So you don't need to mention where the string ends in case if the string you are trying to, if the slice you are trying to extract is the from the end of that string. Similarly, suppose if your string is a starting one, you see here. In that case, you don't need to mention the beginning. Suppose you are saying that it should start with 0, ends with something. Here, you can see here, let me just show you one more scenario. So these are all simple things just to get a quick idea. Here, you didn't mention start. You just specified just colon 5. And then you are printing what is that first name 2. And here also you are printing first name 2. And then what you are doing now? Second C, I didn't mention where the index starts. What I'm not doing, I'm not mentioning where the index starts, because your interpreter will automatically pick up that start index. So I'm trying to extract the first part of string. In that case, if I just specify where that the end index, that is enough. You don't need to mention start index. So right click and then run slice. In both of cases, so what did we get? Of course, change this. You have to put here 6. Earlier while testing, we have changed it to 5, but now change it to 6. Okay, now you'll get perfect output. Now you can see here we got Amitabh Bachchan. In both cases, we are able to slice Amitabh properly. In the first case, we gave a full slice. Like you mean we have mentioned both start index and end index, but in the second case, we didn't. We ignored providing this start index because that is not needed. It will be automatically pick up by the translator. I mean this interpreter. Interpreter automatically will pick up that start index. Okay, then here also we didn't mention the end index. Still, interpreter will automatically choose that end index. So we don't need to worry about these things. And this is how slicing works in Python. Okay, there are many more things we learn that while understanding this slicing. I mean, while going to the topic one by one. But till this, is this clear for everyone how to do this slicing in Python here? Are you able to cut it into pieces now? Did you get that? How to cut a string into pieces? For example, to test purpose, to test your string, suppose this is your example. So I give a string like this, string 2 equal to, this is a slice, something like this. I'm just giving a small string here. Now, can you break down this into this multiple words with applying slicing? Can you break down this string into slices? I need output like this. What is that? This is a, and then slice. Can you do this now? So you please try this as a quick practice. Okay, now you are familiar how to do this slicing, how to break down, how to provide start and end index, how to play with it. So now what you do? You can try this example. So output should be like this. This is a string. You have to break down word by word. I need this kind of output. Can you try this now? Just cute. Maybe you don't need to assign to variables. You can try straight away using print and then S2 of and then colon. So this right, you can take up to 4. This is first one. Second one, after 4, there is a space, that is 5. And then we have another index. What is that? 6. And then after 6, we have 2, 7, 8. So we have to put 8 here. Okay, print of S2 colon 8. Next. 6 colon 8. That is fine. Why I'm having error here? Okay, put up this one. Now this should work. Next after this. You can you try to get A. A is what shall we say, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 at 9th index. Then what do you do? Print of S2 of 9 colon 10. And last one, slice, print of S2 of 10 colon. Okay, leave the rest of the part. Now you can run this now. Run print slicing. So S2 is not defined. Okay, this is uppercase. Let's just a minute, let me correct this. Okay, no problem. Right click, run slice. Now you can see here, somewhere there is a slight adjustment we need here. Few things are missing. So this is perfect. Is in that is I gone. So what shall I do now? So I gone means I should be starting at 5th index and 5, 6. Then this should be at 7th index. Let me run this now. You have to change, adjust your indexes. Now you got is again A is missing. A is missing means you can try, what is that? Here this one has a 9th one and then 10. Right click and then run this. Still this is not coming. This is a slice 1, 2, 3, 4. This is not needed. We are using it for twice. Okay. So here this is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It starts with 9th index. It has to come right. Somehow it's this is A is missing again. Okay, this should be 8, I believe. This is an 8th index and this should be. Let's try this. Now you got A also here. See here now. So this is how this works, friends. Understood now? You can see here, this is how you have to play with the slices. I hope this is clear for all of you now, friends. Just a minute. Sorry, friends. Let's continue. So all of you are good now? Are able to do this slicing? Can you please, confirm in the chat box? Is this slicing clear for you? It's all about playing with that start and index, where it starts, where it ends. You have to calculate that. That's very important, friends. Right now, because this has a lot of importance when you are working in programming. Let's know. Next after this. Let's move to the next topic. So we did slicing. Now we are familiar with slicing. So nothing to worry about slicing. Next one. So what is slicing now? It extracts part of a string. So then we can also apply negative index. Here in this example, I didn't write negative, but most of the time in my coding, I don't generally rely more on negative, but I try to use positive indexes. But still you can play with negative if you are interested. It's up to you which one to choose, right? So hope this is clear. Next one. So these are all few use cases. What is that? So you have a couple of strings like Peter, Paul, and Mary. And if you want to break them into multiple strings, so what you can apply slicing like this, you can see here. And if you run, you can get Peter, Paul, and Mary break down into strings that each token is breakdown into a separate string. Okay, similarly in banana, you can see use case 2. You can get each strings like this, ban, nan, ana, something like this. So for that, you can apply slicing like this. Okay, so that's the simple idea. Next one. How do you iterate a string here? Okay, so iterating. Next, another important topic is iterating. So we can iterate a string in multiple ways. Okay, so one is you can apply a loop, for loop. That is one option. Second option is you can also apply while. If you know indexing, you can iterate your string through while as well, right? So now let me just show you. Already we know how to iterate through loop, for loop. Actually, we had did this yesterday and we did today also. So simple code to iterate this loop is for some ch in s2 or s, and print what shall we say, ch. This is one way of iterating a string. Right click and then run slice. You can see here. This is printing character by character using for. This is one way of iterating a string. So another way is applying a index. Through index, you can get that. Well, like how? So some index, you can say some I equal to 0, start index. Okay, while we need to get the we should know the end of string when you are doing this. So we should have a clear idea about length. To get length quickly, just make it fast. I less than equal to less than. I use this function len of s2 or len of this one, and then print of s2 of I. This is another way of iterating your string through index. If you iterate through index, this is how you should do. What is that we should do? We should choose the start index, and then we should add the condition. What is this condition? Here len represents length of your string. What is the number? How many characters are present in the string? That is given by this len. And then what we should do? And then we should print this string like this through applying index here. You can see here I am passing I as a parameter in this index. So I means what? If I is 0, it try to extract something from I. Okay, you got it right. If it is s2 of 0, it extracts that 0th character. Similarly, if it I is 2, 1, it extracts something at s2 of 1. If I is 2, it's something that extracts at S2 of 2 like that. Okay, so now also you should do one thing, I equal to I plus 1. So this is extracting through index, using index, iterating with index. So here for that you need while here, because for is by default applied on data structure, and internally it will try to extract each character. But explicitly, if you want to iterate your string and but through passing index, then we have to choose the second approach, not the first approach. So what do you do right now? Right click, run, and you can see here you might see the output for 2 times. So this is approach 2. Maybe let me add a print here to see the output, approach 2. And this is a print, approach 1. Okay, now run this. Now you can see here, this is approach 2, which is getting output from the while. We are extracting your string through while loop, approach 2. And this is output from for. This is approach 1. I hope this is clear for all of you. So now you got two approaches. What is that? Extracting a string character by character using for. The second one, extracting a string character by character using while. Is that clear, friends? So why don't you quickly test these things? Just take a few seconds and run this, and then we'll switch to the next topic. Please test this quickly. And if you have any questions still, don't hesitate, stay back, we'll discuss. Okay, friends, let's move to the next topic. Okay, I think you tested this, right? All of you are good, right? Right, good. Next one. Functions are methods of a string class. You know, right? When we talk about string is a class in Python. What is it? If you see here, let me just show you quickly. So type of some, yes. If you are seeing or not, I'm not sure. See here. What is type of string here? If you see type of is, it's showing as class string. All these data types in Python, every data type is a string. In Python, every data type is a string, friends. Sorry, I'm sorry. Every data type is a class. Like if you see C, CPP, Java, and C#, we have two different types of data types. One is built-in data types. Second one are primitive data types. Second one is user-defined data types. User-defined are class types. All class types are we call user-defined. But in Python, every data type is a class. We don't see primitive data types in Python or built-in data types in Python. Each data type is a class. If it is class has some variables, some methods. Now we are going to look about different methods or functions of class. This string class, which is present in the built-in string. So this is not created by somebody like us who is already worked on that API. So they have built this string class. You can see here now, and it has a lot of functions, and this makes our job simple. As we discussed, right? The string has a lot of functions, and using these functions, we don't need to sweat much. So we can simply do our day-to-day coding with these functions. And in this string, we have two types again: general purpose strings and functions in string class. General purpose means something generic. Instead of saying general purpose, we say generic methods. Generic methods means these are not inside string. These are not present inside string class. So I'm repeating, these methods are not present inside string class like len. Len, you don't find it inside string class. Similarly, we just tried len, right? Length of string. We'll do one by one so that you get a clear picture. Similarly, there are certain methods. What is that? Let me just show you. Len, min, max. Okay, there are many more methods. Min, max. Okay, and then let me. What else? There are many more. We can check it. Not an issue. I'll just show you. But anyhow, for reference, we can take these as examples. So generic methods means generally they are not present inside string class, right? They don't exist inside string class. They are just applicable directly on strings. Okay. So such, for example, if you ask me, len is one such method where this is not present in string class. Okay. Similarly, min, max, then there are a few more. We will see that while discussing this string concept. Okay, let's do that now. Let's get into the concept of strings now, one by one. So first method, this is generic method, not something specific to the string class. Maybe you can ask me a question. How do we know if a method is present in string class or if it is a non-string method or non-generic method? Means simply speaking, if it is a normal method or general method, so we don't, you can see here in the example, we directly apply it like this. Suppose you have a string, you are directly passing this string to this method, and you are not using any dot operator here. You are not using any reference here. That is generic. It is a general purpose method, which is not present in string class. But these are just applied on string, that's all. But this is not inside string class. Maybe if you ask me, I didn't still get the clarity here. Can you give us more clarity? Yes. I'll show this example. See here. Suppose, see this lower function. Don't understand anything. Just only get clarity. How do I know if a method is inside string class or if it is not part of string class? So if you see this lower method, so what's happening with lower method? If you see here, we took a string with R3, and then what we are doing here, what we are doing, we are calling this lower on this variable s dot lower. Means this method lower is present inside the string class s. So this s is your string variable, right? This lower is present in the string class, in the built-in string. When you say s dot lower, what happens? You can see here, this is part of string and this lower is converting this uppercase to lowercase. But here our point is, how do you know if some method is part of is inside a class? Means simple tip for you is when you say that variable dot that method name means this method is present inside that particular class. These are all built-in classes inside a class. So yes, same, if you see example of length, are we calling length as s dot len? No, we are simply saying len of s. And here on len, we are not applying any dot operator. We are not applying any dot operator, friends. Is this clear for all of you? So from this, we can easily conclude whether some method or a function is part of class or it's not part of class. When you say that variable dot something, it is part of some class, that particular class. Okay. When you don't say that variable dot, then these are generic methods, which is wholesome applied on, not present inside that particular built-in class. And then they are just applied out from outside. Is this clear? Now let us test all this one by one. These are all simple methods. Just a, can we try testing this? Okay, just a minute. Okay. Sorry, friends. So let's start testing these methods one by. Is this clear now? A quick question again, because this is something which is easy to understand, but sometimes you might get confused. So what is clarity here? So what is the difference between these two? A generic method and a functions in string class. Generic means we apply these directly. Okay. For example, you take some string s equal to abc. Now here you don't do anything. Simply, if you want length, what do you say? Some l equal to len of s. That's all. You don't call s dot len, and then you print that l. That gives you length. Just get a clarity. Second scenario. How do you know if some string is in class? Simply speaking, here in if it is a function in a class, how do you do? Call this through that variable through a string variable. Means that is actually called, you know what? That string variable, you call it as a reference actually. What do you call? Technically, it is reference, but in general, we call it as a, what do we call, friends? We call it as a variable. That's all. But actually, all these are class type, right? Then they are called technically reference. Remember all this. This might be very useful for you. Okay, that's it, friends. Let's switch to the methods now. Let's play with methods. Are you ready? So length, how do you find length? Suppose this is very useful for method for you. And this is not inside string class. This is outside. And the question is, how do you categorize if it is inside class or outside? If you are calling any method with the variable dot, it is inside, that method is present inside the built-in string class. Else, it is not present inside string class. Here, we are talking about strings. We are saying that. Okay, next one. Now, len. How do you get this? Already you are familiar with this. I am not again trying to do this. I think this is clear, right? Len, how to apply len? All of you are clear with len function, right? Maybe if you want, you can try one more time. No issues. So what you do is take one more file and then new and then Python file, then take it as string functions. How do you name it? String functions. So take a simple example, nomtech. And then what do you do? Some print of len of s. Okay. Now if you run this, what do you get here? You get the length here. Simply speaking, you got 8 here. Maybe you can add a simple text here. What is that text here? the length is. Okay. So this is the text you can add here. Okay, right click and then this one you can see here. So this is how you can get length, and to iterate your strings, length function plays a very important role. This is very much needed. Okay, next one. Let's go to the next. Range, all of you are already familiar with range. We can exclude that. Next one. Slicing, I'll come back again. I'll come back and show you few more scenarios. Next, lower. Lower means convert uppercase to lowercase, a string to lowercase. Suppose this is the example. Let's take this as is. Okay, and then sorry, take this. I took an uppercase string. I want to convert to lowercase. Now this is what I'm applying this lower method. What lower does? Converts a string to lowercase, which is from uppercase. Suppose if a string is already in lowercase, then what it does? It does nothing. So because already if it is in lowercase, it doesn't have anything to do. Okay. Now, if you want, you can assign this to a variable. Otherwise, print it. Print off. Right. You can simply say the lowercase is. Okay, comma this one. And then end this with the bracket. Okay. Now run this. Now you can see here, the string got converted. Maybe if you want, you can add much more. This thing, right click and then say this one. And you can see here, right? So this is how you can format your output, right? So this is second method. These are all straightforward. See, if you ask me, there is nothing too difficult or complexity here to understand these functions or methods. Lower means converts to lowercase, upper means converts to uppercase, count means get the count, swap case means changes mix, lower to upper, upper to lower, find means find something. Okay, like that. So these are all, when you look at the name of the method itself, you can easily understand, friends. By looking at the name of methods, you understand what each method is doing or each function is doing. You can say method or function, we don't have big difference. Okay, why don't we try this now again? Upper. Upper means converts a string to uppercase. Suppose you take this example now. Now you converted this S to lowercase, right? Right now, let's apply this now. So you can remove this now. If you assign to some variable, this will be that modified value will be assigned to that another variable. But if you directly print it, it is just a temporary change. Now, when you apply S dot upper, don't think that is converted to uppercase again. Already it's in uppercase here. If yes, so what you do is you can also do one thing. You can take another variable S2 equal to what you can do S dot lower. Now what happens now? S2 get converted to lower here. You see here. Now run this. Before you test this, run this. S2 will be in lowercase. Now on S2 you can call upper and you can assign to a variable S3. Automatically this S2 gets converted to uppercase and assigned to S3. Now what you can do, you can remove this now. This is not needed. We are playing with the beginning string itself, this string Vidatri itself. So now what do you do right now? Print S3. If you print S3, this is converted to uppercase again. You can simply say uppercase. Right now, right click and then see this now. Now you got Vidatri uppercase here. So the advantage here is if you assign to some variable, then that change is assigned. Whatever the change happens, we can capture that change. Suppose if you don't assign to some variable and print it directly, that change is temporary and you cannot capture that change or you cannot hold that change. Right. So if you want to hold the change that got modified, then assign to some variable. And if you don't want it, just you want to quickly test it, you can directly pass a method and test it for temporary check. That's it. Now this got modified to uppercase. Similarly, you can try few more. Count. Suppose count means you just take directly this count here. Now in this, so print, I'm directly applying it. S dot count of I. How many times I occurred in this string S? Let's try to run this. So here the occurrence. Here it checks for occurrence. Count in sense it doesn't give you direct count. Okay, count of your string. Length will do that. Length means how many characters are present in string. That is returned by length. Then what count does? Count gives you number of occurrences of that particular character. Suppose you say I, how many times I is repeating in that string? Suppose Vidatri is there. In that Vidatri, I is repeating for how many times? 2 times. After V one time, after R one time. So that is what count does. Count gives you occurrences of some character. So the occurrence of I is okay, comma. Here you can let me just see I. Definitely this won't work because here I is in uppercase. So I believe we should get 0 here, but let's run this. See here, we got 0. Why 0? Because Python is also case sensitive, right? All these languages are case sensitive. What is case sensitive? Any small change in lowercase or uppercase, any change in cases will have an impact, will have big difference. So now I put small I. There is no occurrence of small I in Vidatri, the first one. So I should change it to capital I. This gives me output as 2 because this I is occurring for 2 times. When you run this here, run this now, you can see here the occurrence of I is 2 here. Are you following, friends? Right? So here, did you get this now? Might be when you look at the name of method, you might think count means it gives count of that string. Count means number of characters in that string. But that is done by what? Which method? Length method, len method. Then what count does here? Count gives a number of occurrences of a character. How many times that character is repeating. So that's what you are seeing, right? If I give I, it gives number of times I is repeating. Similarly, you can check for any other character which you prefer. Next scenario, swap case. What swap case does? Converts lower to upper and vice versa. Now you take this example. Which example? This one. This is a mixed case. Now apply swap case. You see here. So now let's do this now. S is a mixed case and then S dat swap case. Print directly pass it to print here. The swap case is you don't need to assign to some variable, not needed this time. Comma. The swap case and then print it. Okay, now run this. Okay, you can see here. This is got modified. Wherever you see lower uppercase here gets converted to lower. Wherever you see lowercase get converted to uppercase, when you apply swap case here, you can see in the output. Getting, friends? Next one. Similarly, find. What find does? Find the index of a string. What it does? Find the index of a string. Suppose you see here. Excuse me, friends. So directly print it. You don't need to assign to some third variable. The index of V is And here I'm changing the V to capital V because the S has a upper index, not lower index. So just for testing purpose, I'm passing capital uppercase V. If you want, you can pass small v, but you don't see any index. Let me test in both ways. Let's do testing. Now you get an error here, right? End of let me just see, not that. Let me end this, of course. There is a I failed to end this with bracket. Now run this. Now you can see here what it's giving -1. Why -1? It didn't find a match for small v. So that's why it returned a negative index. Right? You get this, friend. Suppose you give capital V, and now run this. What is that it gave? It gave me the index of capital V in the string S. Because you are applying find on S, right? So what is there at this V is at which index? You know indexing, right? By now you are familiar with how to provide indexing to string, right? So what is the index of V? 0. That you can see here. If no match is found, then this method returns -1. Right? This is a quick idea. Next one, index. So now if you see here, there is another method, index again. Same thing, it does the same. Let us test it now. I'm adding index again, index method. S dot index of V. Both are same. Both almost perform same functionality. Right click and then run. And you can see both are giving us same result. Then the question is, what is the difference? Then that is this difference here. If it is find returns -1 if substring is not found. Okay, if your character or substring is not found, it returns -1. Index returns value error. Suppose you see here, let us see it. In the previous example, if you put small v here, what happened? We got -1, right? You see that, you remember. Even you can test now. Put small v, what happens? Find returns -1 because there is no match for small v in the string S because S is completely in uppercase. Right click and then now you can see -1 here. Right, now change this to v. Now here again testing the index method. Suppose use small v here, run this, and what happened now? We have a value error here. If it is index method, it's giving substring not found. Means what? This will immediately raise a value error. Whereas find doesn't raise an error, but it try to give you a negative index. Do you understand this, friends? Are you clear with this now? Then which one to choose? Either choose find or index. Which one is best fit here? I recommend which one is best fit? Is it find one or is it index one? This returns a value error. This returns -1. So I go with find method if you ask me, because it is not changing the flow of your program. It is not affecting or it is not breaking the flow of the program. But index, when you have an error, it will obviously break the flow of your execution. Right. Anyhow, I have a small doubt. Let me check and confirm on this. Which one you can use, either find or index? I'll conclude this in tomorrow's session. I mean, in the next week, I'll confirm which is best fit, find or index. But as per my understanding, whichever don't raise errors is best fit, because so that it is not going to impact the execution flow. Right. This is a quick idea. Next, else strip means remove space at the left side of a string. Okay, R strip means remove space at the right side of a string. And strip means remove space from both sides. Strip removes space from both sides. This purpose of this strip function is removing spaces. Sometimes when you user input some value from text box or something, there might be spaces in that values unknowingly. They don't know that they're giving space, but they enter space and then submit. Then it's the developer's responsibility to remove these unwanted spaces in your string. Otherwise, at some level, that validation, when you are doing certain validations, it might fail. So these are very important things when you are working in a real project. So to remove the spaces, we have three different functions in Python. One is lstrip, which removes left space, rstrip, right space. They are straightforward. When you look at the methods, you can easily understand, friends. And strip means remove spaces from both first and last. That's what happens here. Is this clear for all of you? Right. You can test this. I'll just ping this in the chat box because I don't want to take much time on all this. What you can do, you can test it. No problem. Sharing you in the chat box. Come on. Next one. Is alpha. What is alpha does? Checks whether a string is alphabet or is it completely a character string, or it has only alphabets. That is what is alpha does. This is so easy, right? This is string something ABC and is alpha true, right? All alphabets. For this, you don't need to test it. Next one. Second example. ABC 1, 2, 3. Is this alpha? No. Why? This ABC 1, 2, 3 has digits. It's not pure alphabets. So this is false here if you see here. Is digit means what it does, friends? Checks whether a string is having only digits. Suppose you took a string 1, 2, 3, and then you are checking if it is digit, and it returns true. And these validations are very important in a real scenario again. Suppose sometimes you user and input a phone number from the text box from an UI. At the back end, if it is a phone number, 100% it is a numeric. It is a numeric string, right? Then you should see, like while validating that phone number, first thing you should see is if it is digit or not. If it is digit, then you will go and check for other validations, like if it is Indian number, if it has 10 digits, or if it is some Australian number, if it is has some 8 or 9 digits. I don't know the exact length of Australian number, but say assume that it has some 8 digits. If it has some 8 or 9 digits, something like that. If it is US number, if it is having some 13 or 14 digits. So this validation you can do with some process. But the point is, the first check you do is whether all of these characters are digits or not. Right? That's how you can do validation. So here you can easily understand whether its string has only digits. So if it is digit, yes. If all are digits, then it returns true. Right, next one is lower. Just checks if your string is in lower case. So ABC. Now you can easily answer this. It is if you apply is lower, it returns true. Correct, right, friends? Right, next one is upper. Obviously, right, what it does checks whether a string is in uppercase. Then when you say s dot upper is upper, yeah, s is ABC, which is in lowercase. When you say is upper, it returns false. No need to test all this. Just get some idea. Already now you are familiar like how to call methods if it is part of a string class. You use that string variable and say dot that function name that returns something which or whatever that function is performing according to that functionality, that result is returned. Now is space. Suppose if you want to check if a string is space, then you can see here this is definitely a space and you applied space is space method on that string, it returns true. And these are general purpose methods again. Generic methods, max. Max means whichever is the highest alphabet here. Vida 3, we have a string Vida. Max of S means it returns V because among this V is the alphabet which is the max alphabet, maximum, that value which has a maximum value. V has that max value. Okay, similarly min. Min means which have minimum value. You can see A is min. By looking at the answers output itself, you can easily understand how these functions are working. Right? If you see here min, When you see min, it returns A because A is the minimum alphabet here. And split, this is very important. Let's work on this a bit. And then we'll stop this session today. Okay, how split works? Splits a big string into tokens. And again, among all these functions, if you ask me, which are quite popular. So length is quite popular. Split is very much used. Very much used in your real coding is a split function. It is used lot of times. Right. So it has lot of importance in a real environment. Okay, when you are doing some coding, split is used very much. And then all these uppercase, lowercase, all these methods are just for learning here. Not every time we apply that. Okay. Right. So slice again, slice is something which we apply many times. So among all these discussions, among many methods we see here, which are quite popular means most of this we use once in a while, but very frequently used method is slice. Slicing is done very regularly, and then split is used very regularly. Length can be used regularly, right? And this maybe if you ask me, don't you ever use this? Means yeah, once in a while. Once in a while means rarely we get to use these methods, right? But I don't see using all this regularly in our coding, except this. Okay, you got my point now. Conversion sometimes we do conversions. They are very useful, but quite often which one we apply? We apply slicing, we apply split, we apply length methods regularly. So this is something which you need to. Let's see what is this, friends. Let's talk about split now. Let us take a small. This is some interesting and fun part actually. Take a string like what is string here? Some string 3 equal to. So Bitty bought a bitter butter. Let's say Bitty bought a bitter butter. Otherwise, you do one thing. Let us take a simple example to split this. Some subjects, some maths, English, maths, science. Okay, social. Anything should be. Now I want to split this into tokens. You know how to split. One approach is what? Applying slicing. You know how to do this splitting? One approach is slicing. All of you know this now. But slicing is little tough. Why? Why it's little tough? Can you give answer in the chat box? I don't say slicing. We cannot do with slicing. We can do, but it's little tough. Why? Can you share your answer in the chat box? Any idea? It is little. I don't say it's not impossible. I'm asking. It is a little tough. Can you answer why it's little difficult in the chat box? Yeah, definitely slice is one option. Another option is split function. Now I am saying if you go for slice, yes, maths repeated that is, I only intentionally add repetition. That should be fine. But my question is why slice is little difficult compared to split. Yeah, that's Harish. Thank you so much. So why means it's not impossible with slice, but every time you should know the start index and end index of each string here. So if it is split now, split is another choice, which is much more easier. What you do now, simply you take another variable s4 equal to assign your all that result after applying split to some another variable. Here S4 I'm choosing, S3 dot split off. You have to use some space or some comma. Now, which one? This is called delimiter. Whatever I pass inside this switch split, we call it as what, friends? Delimiter. This comma, this hash, all these special symbols. What we pass inside split is delimiter. What is the delimiter for this whole string? We have comma, or each string is separated with comma. When you apply string function, so the delimiter we have to pass inside the string function is comma. We are splitting by comma and then assigning to a variable like this. Now when you print this S4, right? What happens now? Run this, you understand. So you anyhow change this to uppercase for now. Let's. Otherwise, your program is terminated at this point. Right now, right click and then say this one. Now you can see here all your token strings are sliced. They are split and then assigned to a list here. This is the list. You can see here in this list. You can see each token is split. Each token is separated. Each word is separated. Is this clear for all of your friends? Are you finding this? Are you able to understand now? This is how split works, and this is very much used function in your real environment. Is this clear for all of you friends? Right, this is a quick idea about split again. We'll work with few more scenarios in the next week. Okay, and then switch to data structures topic, and after that functions. Right, all of you are clear till this? Yeah, your answers are pretty correct. So that is difficult thing with slicing. But now you see, right, with split, do you have any difficulty, friends? Between slice and split, which one seems to be simple for us? Is it slice one or is it split one? Which one is simple? Answer in the chat box, friends. Answer in the chat box. And again, a question, a real question where we apply it really. Then when should we choose split and when should we choose slice? Then you should have a clear idea, right? When split is simple, why slice then? Because both have different purposes. Not all times we apply split, not all times we apply slice. Where we apply slice then? This is a simple answer actually. A good. This question seems little difficult but simple. Where we apply slice, where we apply split. This is something really useful question for you because we do slicing regularly and we do apply split. And I will give you this answer. This is very useful answer for you. Where do we apply slicing? Where do we apply split? If you try to grab all this information, these are all very useful things when you do coding in Python. Tomorrow, when you go to some project and apply, these scenarios are very useful. This might seems to be very simple for you, but they are very useful things. When we know the index, we can go for slice, otherwise split. But in both cases, a string doesn't exist without index. Even if you apply split, even if you apply slice, sorry, index is always there for a string. So this point is clear. But where? Answer. Let me give an answer. See, I'll give one scenario for you to get a clear picture. Suppose I'll talk about one use case where you can apply this. Okay, this slice thing. Let me add here. Here only. We are somewhere here, right? At slicing itself. Suppose you have a string A, B, C, D, E, F, and then you have some dates like, what is today, 2023, and then what's today? Today's month is 12, and then today is 3, right? 3. Or otherwise, month first and then date. This is how real dates are mentioned when you work in a environment. Month comes before date. Okay, so this is your sorry, this will be YYY and then DD and MM format. And similarly, take one more string now. And here you have a date like 2, and here you have a date like 1, and you have a date like some 4. You have a date like some 5. So first question. So this is an use case which we generally handle. Okay. So I'm just trying to give you a quick idea so that you understand how important splice is, how important split is. Both are important. But now where to apply slice means, so this is a scenario where, this string might be same or different. Okay, sometimes it might be same in this case, but what changed here? It's changed. Right. Now the question is, now I want all these dates which starts with 2020. This which starts with what is this one, friends? This one here and ends with this date. This date is how many characters are in date? 4 plus 2 plus 2, 8. Now what should you do is you should create a scenario where all your file name, you should get dates from your file name. This is a file name, so you call this as a file name with some dates added to that. Now, what possibility do you have? Can you apply split here? Quick question. Can we apply split here? One question is, can you apply split? Why I'm laughing? Because why? You know the answer. Split we cannot apply here. Why? There is no delimiter. Usually when you apply a split, delimiter is needed. We don't have any delimiters here. When you don't have a delimiter, can you apply split? Answer. Question is, if you don't have a delimiter, can you apply a split, friends? Answer. Yes or no? Can you apply a split? Not possible. So if you have a delimiter, split is working. Right? Sorry. If you have a delimiter, then a split works. Yes, correct. Then otherwise you have to do slicing. Here, in this case, what is this, friends? You have to choose slice here. So how slice works? Something like file name of what is the start of each this one? A, B, C, D, E, F after 7th index colon. You can skip the end index, not needed, because the end is by default goes to all this 12. Sometimes you have to provide end index also. It depends. But now end index is not needed. In this case, what happens? It will try to extract this each string by slice here. So you are getting extracting all dates here. So scenario is what? Extract all dates in this string. So for this, the best choice is what? Is it split or is it slice? Slice is best choice. What do we do right now? Simply you say file name of 7 colon, then it will extract all these date spreads. Okay, that's how it works. When you say file name of 7 colon, it gets this date. Similarly, same, because the length is same for all these file names. In this case, more than split, which is best choice here? Slice is best choice. Are you following? I'm sharing you a live scenario here, which we work every day. Got this now? The splitting is very much important for us because we deal with a lot of data. I'm not talking about that because that's not the right thing, but I'm just only giving you a quick idea where slice is very much used in your day-to-day operations because your file names comes with certain dates. Now you have to split all these dates because to process this, to do this processing, we need only dates. We don't need file names. So if it is old dates, then we should do something. If it is new dates, we should do something. There's just a scenario. Right? So then what do? We do slicing and then we just try to extract dates and based on that we do some processing. That processing I'm not going to tell you. Is this clear for all of you? Okay. That you can imagine what we can do with that old dates and new dates. Okay, you can think whatever you think it will fit into that shoe. But this is a use case which we apply every day. Now you got clarity now? Where to choose slice? When you don't have a delimiter, slice is the best choice. When you have a delimiter, split is the best choice. Is this clear for all of you now? Is this clear? Now you go and check in the, because this we come with experience only, friends. Okay, that's all about this for today. So there is so much of this thing. Today is a big day in India because the fate of many states is going to be announced today in elections. Okay, enjoy your results. Yeah. Right, friends. Any questions? You can stay back. We'll discuss. Otherwise, we'll catch up on in next week. And if you want any still, you can ping me in the my official WhatsApp Tech thing. We can discuss. Okay. I hope these are clear, right? Yep. Thank you, friends. We'll catch you again. Keep practicing. This gives you a clear idea. You do also give a practice at home for once or twice. Okay. Thanks, friends. Have a good weekend. Catch you again.